Um, yeah, it's I don't know, it's the middle of the night, probably around 2:15 or so a.m. on Friday, May 10th, 2024. I'm lying here on my bed trying to sleep. I've been lying here for about an hour and a half now trying to sleep. And because I have some lower back issues, as many old ladies of my age do, I'm 51. I have to lie like flat on my back with my legs in a certain position to alleviate the pressure on my lower back. And to help me sleep, I'm listening to some soft Celtic music. It's pretty relaxing, except that the psychopaths around me seem to have some kind of knowledge of what I'm doing, even though I am pretty quiet and not making any noise and not moving a lot. And they are getting really disruptive right now. So as soon as I turned on my phone here to play some soft Celtic music, the violent thug, Directly Blown 76, who seems to be able to have knowledge of everything that I do in this unit and likes to let me know by making violent slamming and pounding noises beneath my bed when I do certain things on this bed but not others, started making slamming and banging noises beneath my bed. And that psycho came up to my door right around February 19th or so, 2 months ago, and confronted me at my door about things that he should have absolutely no knowledge of. Meaning he was shouting at me about my anatomy and how parts of my anatomy did not please him. That's when you know that the dozens of people who have told you that there are surveillance devices in your unit are right. When the mentally disturbed, violent thug who seems to be in the care of the Department of Public Health of Massachusetts and or the Department of Mental Health of Massachusetts, comes up to your door several times, not just once, several times over a period of about a year and a half, and confronts you at your door without any provocation about things that you do in the privacy of your unit or that you have on your body or that are part of your anatomy that this piece of low-life scum should have no knowledge of. So again, about an hour ago when I started playing this soft Celtic music, the violent thug Directly Blown 76, who's lived in Unit 76 now for 2.5 years, since like November of 2021, started making the same exact violent wall shaking, slamming noises beneath my bed as he has been doing intermittently for 2.5 years now when I do certain things in the privacy of this unit, but not others. And one of the things that he seems to have an issue with is when I listen to soft meditation music or like Jesus videos. That's when he gets all violent, starts slamming things below my bed. Also, when I lie on my back with my legs in a certain position, and no, I'm not doing anything weird. I'm fully clothed. I don't even walk around in this unit in my underwear because for 8 years now, coworkers, other tenants, police officers have all been telling me that there are surveillance devices in this unit and that people can see what I do in here. So I do not even walk around in my underwear. I'm fully clothed all the time. I even shower with a t-shirt on and take everything off at the very last minute. And there's nothing I can do about that. At the same time, while I've been lying here, quietly minding my own business and trying to sleep, the same psychopath, cyber criminal, and evident sex offender named Jasmine Irizarry, who has been housed in Unit 78 behind the wall of my kitchen sink since 2013, on and off by the Greenville Group, has once again resumed the use of some type of remote capacity electronic assault device that she has been using on me from somewhere behind the wall of my kitchen sink since 2017. She only uses this electronic assault device, again, when I do certain things in this unit, but not others. And that, again, proves the existence or the presence of surveillance devices in this unit. And one of the things that Irizarry gets all triggered and worked up about with her electronic assault device is when I lie on my bed facing the ceiling and then start scratching my eczema. If I want to know if this psycho scum cyber criminal, who Greenville has referred to as their surveillance expert, can see what I do in this unit, all I need to do is start scratching my eczema. I have really bad eczema. It itches like crazy. This is not a contagious disease. It's not. It's not contagious. It's an autoimmune skin condition where your skin is basically just eating itself. So it itches like crazy. You just can't stop scratching. It's super itchy. Imagine like a whole bunch of mosquito bites, like all put together. That's eczema. If anybody has had eczema to a greater or lesser extent, they know what I'm talking about. So if I want to find out if this, oh my God. Well, she's in the bathroom of 78 right now because she's now filling this entire corner with intense amounts of marijuana fumes. And the fumes are not coming from below, they're coming from the bathroom of 78. They have been throughout the evening, but now it suddenly got really intense because I'm making a video about her activities in the bathroom of 78 behind my kitchen sink. Jesus Christ. Now I have to open the window. Holy cow. Okay, so I said it was, it's right around 2:12. There we go. It's 2:12 a.m. And right now, I just sat up in bed, but there's someone sitting in the bathroom of 78 that suddenly really started going to town with the marijuana fumes, and it's not coming from below because about an hour and a half ago when I was standing at my sink washing some dishes, there was already a lot of marijuana fumes hitting me in the face from the bathroom of 78 where there's constantly somebody getting really kind of noisy and agitated against the wall behind my kitchen sink. And now they're like really smoking up a storm, probably because I'm talking about how they've been using some type of remote capacity electronic assault device while I've been lying here on my bed trying to sleep for the last hour and a half. Why is this light not working? Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I don't need the light on, but it's kind of disturbing that it's not working. Okay, so this is so quiet. Can you hear this music? I can barely hear it, and I'm like 8 inches away from my phone. So how can the violent thug directly below in 76 be able to hear music from my phone or any kind of audio from this phone when this is as loud as it gets, and yet he starts making violent, repeated pounding below my bed whenever I happen to listen to any kind of video that he doesn't like, especially the Jesus videos, but classical music, Celtic music, I can barely hear it. So there's no way that the violent thug directly below in 76 could possibly hear the audio on this phone unless there was some type of audio bug around this bed. And I've been saying that for years. And people keep telling me they can see what I do in this unit. And I have reason to believe that there's also like surveillance devices somewhere around this bed that are visual. Because again, every time I lie on my bed flat on my back with my legs in a certain position so I can take the pressure off of my lower back, that's when the psychopath, Jasmine Irizarry, who apparently right now is in the bathroom of 78, which is where she's lived on and off since 2013. She's been smoking marijuana behind that wall for the last hour and a half, 2 hours now, but it's getting really intense. And she likes to use her electronic assault device, remote capacity electronic assault device, to zap me while I'm lying on my bed. And it's almost always when I'm lying flat on my back facing the ceiling with my legs in a certain position, again, to take the pressure off my lower back. I'm not doing anything weird right now. Let me show you what I'm wearing. Okay, I'm fully clothed. Okay, so I'm wearing these sloppy ass sweats, t-shirt, and socks. I mean, there's absolutely no reason why anybody should be getting all worked up when I lie on my bed with my legs like that. There's some kind of surveillance device somewhere around here. And that's when the psychopath, who claims to be some type of an engineer, and that the Greenville group has reported specializes in hacking and is their surveillance expert. That's when she starts using her remote capacity electronic assault device to zap me. And it's almost always, again, when I lie flat on my back, facing the ceiling with my legs in a certain position to take the pressure off my lower back. I'm not doing anything weird. For years, people have been telling me they can see what I do in here, so I don't even walk around in my underwear. I shower with a t-shirt and shorts on until the very last possible minute, because if I shower with no clothes on, then the violent thug directly below in 76 and Irizarry in 78 behind that wall, and pretty frequently the sex offender in 88, they start getting all jiggy and agitated all at the same time when I shower with no clothes on. So I have to shower with at least a t-shirt and shorts on. Then I take those off at the very last possible minute. And even then, as soon as I take those off, that's when the psychopath who likes to sit in the bathroom with 78 and smoke large amounts of marijuana gets really agitated. And the thug directly below in 76 starts pounding things below wherever I happen to be in this unit. And then the creep in 88 starts to loudly masturbate against the wall of my unit. I mean, these nut jobs are not even remotely normal. And I'm just sitting here minding my own business, trying to sleep, trying to take showers, trying to wash dishes. And they are constantly getting violent and disruptive against the shared walls of my unit, which means I have to make a video about it because it prevents me from being able to do what I need to do in this unit as I need to do it. Right now, I am being prevented from sleeping, even though I'm not doing anything weird and I'm fully clothed comfortably while lying on my bed. This psycho in 78 who has been using an remote capacity electronic assault device since 2017, she has once again started using that electronic assault device while I've been lying here trying to sleep for the last hour and a half. And it's happening because I'm scratching my eczema. So there's two things that I need to do if I want to get electronically assaulted by Jay Irizarry, the reported cyber criminal and surveillance expert for the Greenville group, who claims to be an engineer. All I need to do is lie on my bed, flat on my back, facing the ceiling with one leg bent to alleviate the pressure of my lower back. That seems to get her all worked up. Then the other thing that I need to do is just start scratching my eczema. She seems to have a real issue with that. And every single time I start scratching my eczema, she gets all worked up with the electronic assault device. So it's some type of remote capacity device that emits EMFs, presumably microwaves. Microwaves are a type of EMF. They're a shorter wavelength, and it goes through walls pretty easily. EMFs are what, routers emit, and your cell phone emits EMFs, although in very low amounts, right? So your cell phone is not going to do what this electronic assault device is doing, which is to deliver what feels like electronic shock. And it literally feels like you're being tased. So that's why I keep referring to it as a remote capacity tasering device, because it feels like you're being tased, but it's not a taser. And the idiots who watch this channel and hate stalk my videos are too stupid to understand the meaning of an example or a metaphor, right? So when I say it's some type of electronic assault device like a remote controlled taser, they think I'm saying it's a taser. No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's a taser at all. I'm saying it feels like a taser, and it's something like that. So it's some type of remote capacity electronic assault device that emits some type of EMF frequency output in a concentrated stream. Your cell phone does not emit EMFs in a concentrated stream, and that's why you don't feel your cell phone when it's in your pocket or when it's, in your handbag or whatever. You don't feel your cell phone because it's not emitting EMFs in a concentrated stream. It just sort of radiates whatever energy it has outwards, but it's not concentrating it in a beam. This type of device does that. It concentrates the EMFs kind of like a laser, and it literally zaps you. That's what I've been experiencing over the last hour and a half while lying here trying to sleep. So again, I can barely hear the music on this phone, and I'm just a few inches from it. How can the violent thug directly below in 76, who is presumably at least 15 feet below me, with a tremendous amount of insulation and very dense flooring materials between my floor and their unit that should prevent them from being able to hear soft music played on a small cell phone. Why did he suddenly start making repeated violent pounding noises as soon as I started playing this Celtic music? And then also when I burped. He also did it when I burped. How can he hear me burping? Right? I mean, I can barely hear myself burp. So there's some type of audio bug around my bed, and obviously some type of video surveillance device as well, because I start getting electronically assaulted by Jay Irizarry and her remote tasering device when I lie flat on my back and start scratching my eczema. That's all I need to do if I want to get electronically assaulted. So, you know, Greenville has chosen to rent to these psychopaths, and they are not doing much to prevent the psychopaths from harassing other tenants. I think they need to know what the psychopaths that they're choosing to house are up to at 2 a.m. I'm just lying here trying to sleep. And I'm really tired. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning.
Hello, you've reached the Greenville Real Estate Group. Our office hours are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our office is currently closed. If this is an emergency, please press 1. Otherwise, press 2 to leave a voicemail for the front office. After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Hi there. It's right around 2:25 a.m. on Friday, May 10th, 2024. I'm calling from Unit 89 because I've actually been lying on my bed for the last hour and a half trying to rest. And the psychotic thug directly below in 76 has been making violent pounding noises beneath my bed when I've been doing certain things on this bed that he should have no knowledge of over the last hour and a half. And yet he responds to what I do when I'm lying on this bed, you know, by making violent pounding noises below my bed. I'm not doing anything weird, but as soon as I started playing some soft music on my phone, which apparently he doesn't like, he started making repeated pounding noises below my bed, even though the music was soft enough that I could barely hear it. And then when I burped, he also started making sudden pounding noises below my bed, which very strongly suggests the use and presence of surveillance devices, as other tenants have been telling me for years, as some of my coworkers have told me, and a lot of other people seem to know are being used in my unit as well, including detectives from the Boston Police Department. Recently as 8 months ago, I had a conversation with a detective who said that he did know of the presence and use of surveillance devices in my unit back in 2021, but he was not sure if they were still there. At the same time, your psychopath and cyber criminal, Jasmine Irizarry, has been smoking large amounts of marijuana in the bathroom located directly behind my kitchen sink, starting at around 11:30 this evening. While I was standing at that sink trying to wash some dishes, I started getting hit in the face by intense amounts of marijuana that were coming from directly behind that wall. They're not coming from below. They're not coming from down the hall or around the corner or from the MBTA station. The intense amounts of marijuana fumes that are constantly and frequently filling my bathroom and my kitchen area always come from the bathroom of Unit 78, where you have chosen to house a known psychopath and cyber criminal and registered sex offender named Jasmine Irizarry, starting in 2013, going all the way up through 2022. And apparently you've moved her back in because she's been making a lot of noises and engaging in disruptive behavior against the wall behind my kitchen sink for the last few months now. At the same time, Ms. Irizarry has resumed the use of some type of remote capacity electronic assault device while I've been lying on my bed over the last hour and a half, facing the ceiling with one of my legs in a certain position to alleviate pressure on my lower back. Ms. Irizarry tends to get a little worked up with her electronic assault device when I lie flat on my back on my bed facing the ceiling, and I've reported this to Greenville on multiple occasions. She uses some type of device that apparently concentrates electromagnetic frequency output into a harmful stream that you then feel as if you're being tasered. I've also reported this dozens of times, and it happens most frequently, as I keep reporting, when I'm lying on my bed. That's when the psychopath in 76 and the psychopath in 78 start getting really aggressive and disruptive. Obviously, this is surveillance based, and because at this point, dozens of people have told me that people can see what I do in the privacy of my living space, it's obviously not a stretch to figure out that the psychos that you chose to place as 76 and 78 are aware of what I do when I'm on my bed or when I'm in my bathroom. And that's when they start violently hitting the wall that my unit shares with theirs. These people are not normal. They have some obvious behavioral problems. They have boundary issues. They are obviously compulsively perverted, because nobody in their right mind would want to see what other people do in their bathroom unless they're a sex offender. And this keeps preventing me from doing what I need to do in my unit, which right now is to try to sleep. If you have any questions, I can be reached at 617-459-0208. I've left dozens of voicemails about this exact issue over the last few months, and this behavior from Irizarry and from the thug directly below continue to happen. Thank you. Yeah, that was a long voicemail, but I'm really tired, and this keeps happening. It's preventing me from being able to sleep. I'm just lying here. I am not bothering anyone. I can barely hear the music on my own phone. I have the right to burp if I want to. I have the right to scratch my eczema if I want to, especially if I'm in the privacy of my living space. And if I'm lying on my bed, I have even more the right to do whatever I want on my bed. That's the most private part of your living space, unless it's the bathroom. So if I want to pick my nose or scratch my eczema when I'm lying on my bed, that is my right. And the fact that these psycho thugs in 76 and 78 are getting all agitated right now at 2:15 in the morning is a testament not to me or my dysfunction, because I'm just lying here trying to sleep, but to their own psychosis and their mentally disturbed state of mind. Obviously, nobody in their right mind would start making violent slamming noises when they should have no knowledge of what their neighbor is doing, but they make the violent slamming in response to what they know their neighbor is doing, because obviously they're using surveillance devices, as everybody keeps telling me, including the Boston police and former maintenance managers of the Greenville Group and staffers at the Greenville Group and coworkers. So, it's not a stretch these days. This is no longer the 1970s, and surveillance devices are no longer the size of, a giant briefcase. These devices are tiny. They're called microdots, and you can purchase them on commercial websites. So, what I'm reporting is not science fiction. It's probably happening to many more people than, anybody's aware of. I mean, what's preventing anybody from putting tiny little surveillance devices all over everybody's bathrooms, right? You don't even see them. They look like dots. So good luck finding those.